Hi everybody, Steve here at Forest Lawn in the Hollywood Hills once again. And when I arrived in this section, there was no one here and now it's just packed. But that's typical, right? You've heard me say that probably 1,000 times. I was here in this section last week looking for the gravesite of George Greely. He's the composer who composed the theme song for My Favorite Martian.
And I wasn't able to find his gravesite, so I'm back again today to give it another try. As a kid, back in the 1960s, the sci-fi sitcom My Favorite Martian was one of my favorite shows. I wondered what happened to the cast over the years, so today I decided to go out and search for as many of their gravesites as I could find. And I'm starting here at Forest Lawn in the Hollywood Hills. For those of you not familiar with the show, it aired for 3 seasons from 1963 to 1966. It starred Ray Walston as a 450-year-old extraterrestrial Martian whose spaceship crashes to Earth one day. The crash is spotted by Los Angeles newspaper reporter Tim O'Hara, who is played by actor Bill Bixby. Stranded in Los Angeles, the Martian needs a place to stay, so of course, O'Hara takes him home with him. O'Hara tells everyone that his new roommate is his Uncle Martin and promises to keep the Martian secret. Uncle Martin, with his special abilities to read people's minds and to become invisible and to freeze time, turns Tim's life upside down and, of course, results in lots of fun and laughs. Ray Walston died in Beverly Hills, California on January 1st, 2001 at the age of 86. During his career, he appeared in more than 70 movies and dozens of TV shows. And later in his career, he was also a regular on the TV series Picket Fences from 1992 to 1996, playing Judge Henry Boone, but he'll probably always best be remembered by most as Uncle Martin on My Favorite Martian. He was cremated and unfortunately has no final resting place to visit at this time. Actor and director Bill Bixby died from prostate cancer in Century City, California on November 21st, 1993 at the young age of 59. He was also cremated and his ashes were scattered, so sadly he also has no final resting place to visit. In addition to playing Tim O'Hara on My Favorite Martian, he appeared in 3 other TV shows as well. He played Tom Corbett on The Courtship of Eddie's Father from 1969 to 1972. He played Anthony Blake on The Magician from 1973 to 1974, and Dr. David Banner on The Incredible Hulk from 1978 to 1972. He was also a regular on Hollywood Squares from 1966 to 1974. At the time of his death, he was directing the TV show Blossom. His life was sadly cut short by cancer, but he sure did manage to leave a lasting legacy during his very busy 59 years. George Greely was a pianist whose music appeared in hundreds of motion pictures over the years, and he also composed the theme songs and music for the TV shows My Favorite Martian, The Ghost of Mrs. Muir, and Nanny and the Professor. He's laid to rest here on the hillside, just to the north of the cul-de-sac, and right next to Forest Lawn Drive. You can also see ABC Studios and the Ventura Freeway just on the other side of the Los Angeles River. This is called the Contentment section, and in all of my visits to this cemetery, this is the very first time I've ever visited a gravesite in this section. It's a bit hidden away, and I didn't even know it was here. Greely died from emphysema here in Los Angeles on May 26, 2007, at the age of 89. In 1926, George and Ira Gershwin composed and wrote one of my favorite classic songs, Someone to Watch Over Me. And apparently it was one of Greely's favorite songs as well, since he used the title as the epitaph on his headstone.
So, do any of you remember the theme song from My Favorite Martian? It's actually not very long, and I wouldn't say it's one of the best theme songs I've ever heard for a TV show, but it's kind of fun. And he and Pamela Britton are the only 2 who seem to have final resting places, and they're both right here in the same cemetery. Everyone else was pretty much cremated or their gravesites are unknown. So now I'm going to go up the hill. Actually, Pamela Britton was cremated, and she's in a columbarium within the Courts of Remembrance, which are just, I could actually walk there, but again, because it's so noisy outside and windy, I'm going to drive in case I want to say anything about her gravesite in the car.
Even though Bill Bixby and Ray Walston were the stars of the show, actress Pamela Britton was also a central character. She played Tim's lovable but nosy landlady, Lorelie Brown. Trying to keep Uncle Martin's identity secret from their nosy neighbor and landlady was usually the main storyline. She was cremated, and her ashes are interred here in the columbarium of Radiant Dawn. Once you enter through the archway, her cremation niche is located on the east wall just to the left. In May of 1974, she was co-starring with Don Knotts in the stage production The Mind with the Dirty Man. She began getting severe headaches and was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Sadly and tragically, she died just a few weeks later in Arlington Heights, Illinois, on June 17, 1974, at the young age of 51. Fans of Britton will remember that she also starred as Blondie Bumstead in the 1957 Blondie TV show. And you may recognize this columbarium because I've actually been here a few times before and visited a few of the other famous niches here. Just inside the archway on the wall to the right was the original niche for Lucille Ball's cremated remains before they were moved back to New York. And just to the right of Britton, right in the very center of the wall, is the niche of Walter Lantz, who is the voice and creator of the very popular cartoon character Woody Woodpecker. Lantz died nearby in Burbank, California on March 22, 1994, at the age of 94, just a month prior to his 95th birthday. And I almost forgot to mention Lorelie Brown's boyfriend on the show, Detective Bill Brennan. He was played by actor Alan Hewitt. The detective was a little jealous and didn't like or trust Uncle Martin very much, and always suspected that he was hiding something. Hewitt died from cancer at Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York City on November 7, 1986, at the age of 71. Unfortunately, the location of his final resting place is unknown at this time. And this week I'd like to give a shout out and a very big thank you to my newest Patreon supporters, Brandon Mitchell, Sue Birkenbiel Cordell, John Clifford, and Joseph McIntosh. Thank you, Brandon, Sue, John, and Joseph, for your very kind donations to my channel. Your donations really do help make future trips like this possible, and I really appreciate it. I also want to thank my many new subscribers this week as well. It really does mean a lot to know that so many of you are enjoying my channel, and subscribing really does help it grow. As for all of you fans of My Favorite Martian, please feel free to share your memories of the show with us down in the comments section. They're always fun to read. And if you happen to know of any memorials to Bill Bixby or Ray Walston that I'm not aware of, please share that with us as well. So if you enjoyed today's trip to the past, I hope you'll join me in another one by clicking and watching this one here. Until next time, thanks for sharing the memories, everybody.